past 10 years के PT papers, polity questions, which will be covered. इनको हम करेंगे and इनको हम cover करेंगे thematically, मतलब theme wise, मतलब kind of subject wise आप समझ लीजिए. And the chapters जो अभी हम cover करने वाले हैं वो ये हैं: the historical evolution of the Constitution, the salient features of the Constitution and political theories, preamble and political theories. Political theories दोनों यहाँ पे cover एक साथ ही हो जाएंगे, right? Union and its territory, citizenship, fundamental rights, DPSP, which is basically directive principles of state policy. वो क्या है exactly वो सब मैं आपको detail में करा दूंगा बाद में. Alright. Fundamental duties, mixed questions कई बार आते हैं fundamental duties and fundamental rights पे. दोनों में फर्क क्या होता है, कौन सा enforceable है, कौन सा नहीं है, वो भी हम कर लेंगे. Amendment to the Constitution, system of government, parliamentary system which we have in India, which was also called the Westminster model. Federal system, emergency provision, central government, president and prime minister, council of ministers, central committees, parliament. So we'll be covering all of these topics one by one, and we'll be doing questions जो इन पे last 10 years के polity में आ चुके हैं. The preamble of the Constitution is, yes, what? So the answer choice is D. पूरा इस क्वेश्चन को पूरा शुरू से कर दो, ठीक है? Okay. All right, students. The next question we're going to do now is the preamble of the Constitution of India is, and this came in 2020. Is the answer choice? The answer choice is already written over there, but just ignore it for a second. Hold on. Haha. The preamble of the Constitution of India is a part of the Constitution but has no legal effect. Not a part of the Constitution and has no legal effect either. A part of the Constitution and has same legal effect as any other part. A part of the Constitution but has no legal effect independently of other parts of the Constitution. Okay. Before we answer this, मैं लिख देता हूँ answer choice nonetheless. Answer choice is D. That's the correct one. Okay, before I explain this, I need to go through the Constitution with you a little bit. Just make it very clear. Constitution of India. Now, this is the table of contents of the Constitution of India. I'm going to write it down for you, okay? So, contents Constitution of India. This is how it starts. Contents, oh good lord. COI I'm using as a short form for Constitution of India. Preamble. Then comes part 1, which is the, oh Lord, once again. Part 1, which is the Union and its territories and its territory. Part 2, citizenship. Part 3, FRS. I'm writing down in shorts, fundamental rights. All right? चलो पूरा लिख देते हैं. I think I'll write the entire thing down. It's just safer that way. Part 4, DPSP, Directive Principles of State Policy. Part 4A, fundamental duties. Part 5, the union. Now, union has subparts, or as the constitution likes to call them, the chapters. Chapter 1, the executive. Chapter 2 should be the parliament. It is the parliament. Chapter 3 should be the union it's the legislative powers of the president. I'm not going to write down all the chapters of the constitution. That will obviously take forever, and there's no point in that. I'm just writing down the first few parts and first few chapters. I'll tell you the reason in a second, please. Chapter 4, actually in a slightly different, you should be accurate. Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Chapter 4 is the union judiciary. I still remember once a student of mine, we were discussing out in class, and he was reading out the chapters, and he suddenly said, "Sir, chapter 4, the onion judiciary." No, there's no pyaz, there's no aloo involved here. It's the union judiciary. Right. And the last chapter of part 4 CAG, Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Okay. After part 5, then starts part 6. And that is the states. That is the states. Okay. Okay. So this is the initial table of contents of the Constitution of India. It starts with the preamble. Then there is part 1, the union and judiciary, part 2, citizenship, part 3, fundamental rights, part 4, DPSP, part 4A, fundamental duties, part 5, the union, part 6, the states. Union has subparts, and the subparts are called chapters. Now, notice something. Preamble. In front of the preamble, in the Constitution ka contents, is it written part 1? Is it written part 1, the preamble, and then part 2, the union and territories, and this becomes part 3, this becomes part 4. Is that the case? No. You have straight away, this is not the case, and this all doesn't happen. It is the preamble without any mention of any part before it. Then you have part 1, and then the Constitution starts on part 1, etc., etc. So what does this mean? It is the preamble not a part of the Constitution? No. This was held that the preamble is not a part of the Constitution in this case. I'm going to write it down for you. In re regarding, re is short for regarding, Berubari. I think this was a 1960s case. Let me just confirm it for you. Yep, 1960. Sorry. In Re Berubari, it was held that by the Supreme Court, preamble is not part of COI. There was no need for that. I should just write it simply. It was held preamble not part of Constitution of India. This was held in Berubari. In 1960, the preamble was not a part of the Constitution of India. Later on, this case was overruled. We've done this case earlier as well, if you would remember. 𝐒𝐮𝐫 𝐂𝐸𝐻 versus Union of India, 1973. 𝐒𝐮𝐫 𝐂𝐸𝐻, then this Berubari case. This Berubari case was overruled in the 𝐒𝐮𝐫 𝐂𝐸𝐻 case of 1973. 𝐒𝐮𝐫 𝐂𝐸𝐻 case held two things regarding the preamble. Number one, it is a part of COI, so it is a part, yes. Number two, legal effect, no, but interpretation tool. Sorry, thoda yahan pe it's become a little congested over there. I'll write it down a little separately. There. I'm sorry, it's gotten a little congested. I hope you won't mind, but I'll explain it to you. So, in Re Berubari, it was held that the preamble is not a part of the Constitution of India. Fine. Then it was overruled in 1973 by the 𝐒𝐮𝐫 𝐂𝐸𝐻 case. 𝐒𝐮𝐫 𝐂𝐸𝐻 case held two things specifically about the preamble. Number one, that the preamble is very well a part of the Constitution. Proper part. Just because table of contents, whatever reason, no. It is a part of the Constitution. But it held that the preamble has no legal effect of its own. However, it is an interpretation. I'll explain this concept. However, it is an interpretation tool for the Constitution of India. We did it a couple of questions back, why the preamble is kind of a glimpse into the minds of the Constitution framers. Why it is a summary of the Constitution. Why it is an interpretation tool. Because you need to understand what the Constitution framers' intent was. That's what it held. No legal effect simply means that tomorrow, let's say the Constitution, the preamble says liberty of thought or whatever. Now, someone approaches the Supreme Court saying that the government is stifling my liberty of thought as guaranteed by the preamble. No. The preamble has no legal effect of its own. You cannot go to the Supreme Court, High Court saying that the preamble was violated of mine. No. You can, however, go to the Supreme Court, High Court saying my freedom under Article 19, equality under Article 14, or my right to life under Article 21 was violated by so and so provision. And to understand Article 19 and 14 and 21, then the Supreme Court will check the preamble to understand what is the exact meaning, what is the intent of the Constitution framers behind Article 14, 19 and 21. Hence, the correct answer choice is D. It is very well as a part of the Constitution of India, but has no legal effect independently of others. In the sense, it has, this is wrong, it has no legal effect. It has legal effect. In the sense, it is an interpretation tool. So one can say it has a legal effect only to the extent as an interpretation tool, hence has no legal effect independently of other. In the sense, the Constitution of India, you cannot go to the Supreme Court citing the Constitution of India just as it, the preamble just as it is. It has no legal effect. but it has a legal effect when combined with others. So again, to read 14, 19, 21, then the preamble can be used, but you cannot go to the Supreme Court or High Court saying preamble's XYZ line was violated. Hence, a part of the Constitution in India, but has no legal effect independently of other provisions, other parts. Most importantly, part 3. We'll go one by one with the answer choices. A part of the Constitution but has no legal effect. Well, this is not very accurate. Not accurate. It is not enforceable, yes, but it has a legal effect to the extent it is used in interpretation for other parts. So this is not accurate. Not a part of the Constitution, ये तो clearly यहीं पे, this is wrong right here. And no legal effect either. This is wrong. A part of the Constitution has same legal effect as the others. Clearly wrong. It does not have legal effect as the other parts. You can go to the Supreme Court, High Court, citing Article 14, 19, 20, or 20, 21, whatever. But you can't go citing the preamble's lines. All right, I'm going to give you a couple of seconds. Kindly note it down. Then we'll move on to the next one, please. All right, students, we shall continue now. By now, you would have already copied everything down. So let's move on to the next slide. We've done this.